In this video, we're to talk about a bus route that was once one of the most busiest bus routes in London, and now barely anybody uses it.
Please subscribe. Please. Please.
It's Tajay. I'm back again with another video for you guys. And in this video, we're specifically going to be talking about the London bus route 38, along with the bus route 19, and the newly introduced, or should I say reintroduced, route 10. Now, let's go back to basics. So the 38 is a bus route that runs from Victoria in central London to Clapton Ponds. Now, the 38 is one of the busiest bus routes in London, or should I say was. It was up there with the Route 18, the 29, the 25, and it had one of the most, I think has the second highest peak vehicle requirement. I could be wrong. It's a very busy bus route. It has a lot of vehicles. You can get a bus within a minute or 5 minutes. That's how frequent they operate. However, the 38 does operate some shorter journeys. So instead of a bus going from Victoria to Clapton Pond, quite a few will go from Victoria to Hackney Central, which is where their bus garage is. Now, over the years, things like COVID and the pandemic took place, which has led people to use transport as less. And also you got other modes of transport, better connections to trains, people using trains instead of buses. And also the 38 does overlap quite a few bus routes. And this is the reason to why the 38 isn't as busy as it used to be. From where it starts in Clapton Pond, it goes to Hackney Central, where you have plenty of bus routes from Clapton Pond to Hackney Central that run by the same routing. From Hackney Central to Dalston, you've also got routes like the 242. And then from Angel to Holborn, you've also got the 19. So is the 38 really needed? Well, it still is. Because from Victoria directly to Hackney Central, sometimes you may be feeling nice on a hot summer's afternoon and you just want to take the bus instead of squeezing onto the tube and changing onto a different line or whatever. The 38 will just take you directly into Hackney. So in that way, it does serve a purpose. However, this is where the newly reintroduced 10 comes in. Now, originally, the 10 ran from King's Cross to Hammersmith. The 10 overlapped quite a few bus routes, which is one of the reasons why it did get withdrawn, especially because the bus route 9 pretty much ran the same routing as the 10 from Hammersmith to Hyde Park Corner. Where does the 19 fit into all of this? Well, the 19 is quite a long bus route, running from Finsbury Park in Greater London all the way down to Battersea Bridge, right in the south. You can imagine the 19 is a busy bus route. However, it does encounter some very high traffic areas, which causes a lot of buses to curtail, end their journeys early, causing big gaps in services even. Now, as someone that's been on the 19 myself, I've sat on the 19 before all the way from Piccadilly Circus to Finsbury Park. And boy, oh boy, that's a long journey. And that is only half of this journey. So you can imagine what a full journey from Finsbury Park to Battersea Bridge is like. It may be completely useful to passengers having a direct link from North London to South London. However, in terms of peak hours and high traffic areas that it serves through, it is very inconvenient. This is why TfL want to newly introduce the 10 again. The 10 is set to run from Newington Green to Battersea Bridge Southside. Now, I actually agree with these changes, mainly because the 10 running from Newington Green, where the 21 used to terminate, provides a new direct link from Newington Green to South London now. So what does this mean for the 19 and the 38? Well, the 19 will now go to Victoria, running via the 38's old routing, and the 38 will only go as far as Holborn. I do think this is very useful because the 19 only running from Finsbury Park to Victoria isn't as long as it going all the way down to Battersea Bridge. So in the worst case scenario that there is traffic, you may see buses terminating early at places like Hyde Park Corner or even Piccadilly Circus, which isn't too bad compared to wanting to get the bus all the way down to Battersea and the bus is only going as far as Hyde Park Corner or Tottenham Court Road. Whereas with the 10 being reintroduced, if it's only starting from Newington Green, should it have to terminate early, it's not too bad because the routes are shorter. This does help a lot. It helps for a more smooth service. As much as it is a shame for the 38 to have its routing cut back to Holborn, at the same time, it's the most reasonable thing TfL can do, in my opinion. Simply because the 38 just isn't as busy as it is anymore. Even as someone that used to use the 38 when I was little, back when it had bendy buses, it's just not how it used to be. Everyone just ends up getting on the 56, they get on the 30, or they just get on the 19. The issue is you just have loads of buses on the 38 that are just carrying little to no passengers sometimes. I do think the new reintroduced Route 10 will be very beneficial towards the public. A lot of people are speculating what company is going to operate it. If I'm being honest, there's only three companies that can really operate it. That's either Arriva, Go Ahead London, or Transport UK. Transport UK, if they were to operate the 10, they could operate out of the Queenstown Road Battersea Garage. That's not too far from Battersea Bridge. Go Ahead London could possibly operate it if they wanted to. I could see them operating it out of their Stockwell garage. But again, the distance is a bit far between the two. So if I'm being completely honest, I see Arriva operating the route. Because as the 38 is getting cut back to Holborn, this also means its frequency is going to drop. So a lot of those buses, or should I even say half of those buses, won't be needed. That means a lot of those buses could potentially be used for the 10. And I just think the 10 being operated from Clapton Garage makes more sense. That is what is most likely going to happen. The 10 is probably going to be operated from Clapton like the 38 is. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Because if you ask me, like I said, I personally don't have an issue with these changes. I think it's the most reasonable thing TfL can do, and especially adding a new bus route in the process rather than taking away a bus route is probably the better solution to things. And I think we can all agree in saying that the 19 is a very long bus route running from Finsbury Park to Battersea Bridge. And the reliability of it isn't great from my experience. Let me know what you guys think. Let's have a chat about it in the comments. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. More videos like this will be on the way. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.